Deploying haptic and embodied feedback along with visual and audio contents in virtual reality can effectively improve users' experience and immersion. Many researchers have investigated the hand-based haptic feedback devices to simulate the touch sensation in virtual reality. However, compared to hand-based haptics, there is less research on the haptic devices focusing on the low limbs for the VR application. We present PropelWalker, a pair of calf-worn haptic devices for simulating the buoyancy and the resistant force when the human's lower limbs are interacting with different fluids and materials in virtual reality. By using 4 ducted fans, 2 installed on each calf, the system can adjust the strength and the direction of the airflow in real time to provide different levels of forces. PropelWalker contains a pair of calf sleeves, one to be worn on each side of legs. Each calf sleeve consists of 2 ducted fans, one for upward airflow and another for downward, a lower limb protection structure and the connection structure. We implemented the VR scenario and the device control mechanism in Unity 3D 2019 with C#. When the computer receives the data from HTC Vive Tracker, the software controls the HTC Vive Pro HMD and the PropelWalker device through Arduino to provide visual and haptic feedback. We conducted a pilot user study to investigate the generated force levels and the user experience of walking in place under different fan angles, to determine the optimal hardware setup. We chose the range of 0 to 50 degree and an interval of 10 degree, resulting in 6 fan angles for our pilot experiments. These angles were presented to the participants in a random order. We chose a 20-degree angle as the final angle setting for the ducted fans on both sides of the calves, which enables our device to balance the trade-off between the generated force level and the user's comfort. We then conducted a series of technical evaluation to measure the capability of the device under the chosen hardware setup. To this end, we customized a measurement system which can measure the maximum force of 40 kg and a minimum accuracy of 1 gram. Based on the results of the technical evaluation, we implemented the linear regression models for mapping the fans' generated forces to the PWM signals, to smoothly control the force output. After determining the system setup, we first conducted a study of just noticeable differences, to investigate the human's discrimination thresholds of force generated by PropelWalker. We used a 2 alternative force choice paradigm and the process of 1 up 2 down staircase procedure to estimate the just noticeable differences. The results showed that the measured JND values varying across 6 interval conditions for 4 different reference forces, indicating that our device could generate a range of force feedback that are potentially distinguishable for the users. In the second user study, we investigated the user's ability of identifying different fluid materials based on the on-leg forces generated by PropelWalker. 4 types of walking mediums are simulate, dry land, water, sand, and mud. We mainly consider the joint force combining the buoyant, the resistant forces, and potentially the weight of the medium during the walking process, and control 2 fans for the PropelWalker device on each leg respectively. The results showed that the participants achieved an average accuracy of 94.2%. There were no significant difference in terms of accuracy and completion time for different types of mediums. We further conducted the third user experiment to investigate how PropelWalker could affect users' sense of presence in immersive VR. 3 operating modes were used in the experiment: using the bare legs without PropelWalker, wearing PropelWalker with corresponding haptic feedback, and wearing PropelWalker with randomly generated haptic feedback. The results showed that using PropelWalker with corresponding haptic feedback in immersive VR could significantly improve users' sense of presence compared to other 2 conditions. Lastly, we developed some application for users to experience in different VR scenarios.